Serenity.
I am currently reading A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and this is my copy.
All right.
It is Twilight for academics.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I wasn't kidding.
I've been meaning to read this forever, and now I'm reading it. And at the same, I've been listening to it on audio and reading it in the book form, like while doing this.
Yeah.
And I have a rant ready for tomorrow when I'm
Oh.
posting it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. That sounded like a
If you're
good.
not on Bookstagram, I'm going to read you my rant because this is this is why we call once
Yeah.
a week.
This was.
Um,
Is it not?
huh?
This is a big one. Is it not?
It is a big one. It is a big one, and I have all three books, and I'm probably going to keep reading them. But I have some things that I would like to say.
All right.
So
All right.
this is spoilers, kind of mild spoilers that you could probably see coming if you were aware that this was a romance novel about vampires and witches.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So if the reason why I'm like so much thinking like, oh my gosh, this is just Twilight for academics is because like if you look at the main guy, he's a pretty boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's very possessive.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely moody. And like even worse than Edward, like kind of violently moody where it doesn't seem like it should be something you forgive.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. He wants to suck Diana's blood more than anyone else's ever in his very long life. Apparently he is like very, very old, like 1500 years old, which seems excessive. I'm just gonna put it out there. He lives in a mansion, so long life, got money.
Money. Check.
Close with his mom, which is a thing that happens in Twilight as well. Because they were living with their mom and dad figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
His vampire mom.
Right. Vampire.
The person who made him a
style.
vampire.
Okay.
And then he also has like another mom-like figure who lives with his vampire mom, who was like much older when she became a vampire. So I want to know more about her. Like I don't really care so much about this romance thing. I want to know about the like old lady vampire who is living her best life and who really likes to cook for his girlfriend, which was also a thing that the Twilight mom liked to do.
Yeah.
And then he watches her sleep a lot. He also abandons her, but like for her own good. Okay.
So sweet.
Just like a Twilight thing. That was a whole book 2 of Twilight.
Right. That's all of
Except she didn't like go off and do dangerous shit. Except for what, like she was there with his mom, and his mom was like, I don't think you know what it means to be a vampire, so I'm gonna like show you scary shit. So it's like kind of the mom's fault that she got into any danger while he was away, but like he still left her alone with someone who like didn't particularly like her. And then if we're talking about Diana, she is so stunning that everyone has a crush on her. But she doesn't wear any makeup or anything. Like she has mascara, but like who knows when the last time she wore it was.
Exhausting.
She's super special and unique because magic, but of course she doesn't know it because she hasn't been using her magic like at all because of her traumatic backstory, but that's a different thing.
Okay.
She kind of just gets like moved around by the boyfriend and like stays where she's put. They're currently in France in his chateau, and she just gets kind of like plopped.
Here I am.
But there's like a really old book there, and they talk about history and stuff too. And like every once in a while, she'll like say something and he'll be like, I forgot how much you know about history, when she's like a literal doctor of history. She has her PhD.
Is this where like the for academics part comes in?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not really talking about the for academics part because that has nothing to do with Twilight. This is just like the things I've noticed that I'm like, what is this? What is Twilight doing in this book? Random powerful creatures threaten her like a lot. Just like show up and are like, she's different, we gotta kill her. And it's like,
I hate that. I hate when
we're not even like kill her until he's involved because their love is not allowed and goes against a covenant between creatures that she didn't know anything about. So it's like entirely his fault that she's in danger.
This does.
It starts off where like there's a book and she can access the book and no one else has been able to access the book. So like people want to know how she beat the spell to like get the book.
Yeah.
But then now she's in like legitimate danger because he didn't tell her that they weren't allowed to be together.
Well,
But even though he's like, well, we're in love and I'm possessive and you're mine, he also, she wants to have sex with him, like her vampire, super bad.
yeah.
Um, and he won't.
This just
He won't. Even though he thinks of them as married. Like he calls her his wife super casually in a sentence, and she's like, wait, back up?
what?
And I feel like, surprise, nuptials like shouldn't be a thing. Apparently, as soon as they were like in person together, and he was like, I love you. And she was like, well, I love you. And then they made out a bit in front of his mom and his mom-like figure. That means they're married? I don't know if that's just because he's like 1,500 years old or what, but like, pardon?
Doesn't sound good.
Um,
If this was my friend, we'd be having maybe a serious conversation. Maybe.
I want her to go back to the library, and I want her to think about like her fun academic shit, maybe do some magic, and stop thinking about she describes his like gaze as feeling like snowflakes on her skin so often. Like every third paragraph uses the word snowflake, and I'm like, hey, why? But then it's also like, it's very weird because I like the like subplots. I like the actual like plot. I just don't like the romance.
It's the everything else.
It is driving me bonkers because like we've got an unsolved murder mystery from when she was a child and her parents went to Africa, and apparently witches murdered them, even though her whole life she thought it was humans.
Oh my goodness.
It's
terrible.
We got some conspiracy theories about like the Knights Templar and how it would have been impossible if you think about it in like human terms, because there ain't enough time in a lifetime to like be the Knights Templar and like accomplish all the things that they're supposed to have done throughout history. But then she's like, but wait a minute, what if they were vampires? And like there's like all of these like things throughout it, and I'm like, this is a cool plot, give me more of this,
let's follow this.
And then there's like magic in the human world, and there's like the 3 different type of creatures that we get to see, and like where they fit best, and how her magic, like even though she wasn't using it, would kind of like fuck up things that she wanted to do. Like she was trying to be an actress at first, but her magic meant that she was like over identifying with the characters, and she played Ophelia one time and like got into a dangerous like, she started like embodying Ophelia, and her magic made it so her co-host, Jesus Christ, her co-star was like way into, and then they had a romance and she almost died, and she was like, cool, maybe I should find something that like my magic doesn't have anything to do with.
Oh my god.
So
I didn't understand why this looks like it's like a tome.
Yeah, it's huge. And also, the last thing that I just really hate is that they spell his mom's name, which is Isabeau, Ysabeau.
I don't like that name.
I also don't like that it starts with a Y.
Yeah, the Y is, but you know, if she's also like 1,500 years old,
then her name probably wasn't written down until like modern times, when she maybe could have spelt it.
I would simply choose a different spelling at the.
And like, if anything's gonna make you seem older than you are, extremely outdated spellings of your name might do it.
That is a red flag to anyone interacting with you.
Like those are all. That's my nitpicky view of what I'm reading.
I can't say I would.
I'm probably still gonna finish the whole series because I am reading it with a friend. And I hope that she is as annoyed as I am, because if she loves it, I'm gonna be the worst.
This sounds like a delight.
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, that was a really long-winded way of explaining what was in this book.
Explaining, but it does just sound like Twilight.
But like, they also talk about medieval manuscripts sometimes.
I guess I would like Twilight more if there was more about medieval manuscripts. I can't.
And like she does stuff. She has had a whole life before she met him. Like, I think the thing that I really didn't like about Twilight is that like they're in high school, then they get married, and then she has no ambition to do anything else.
Yeah, that is pretty dark.
It's like, do you not want to go to college? Do you not want to get a job? You just want to stop
Anything?
here?
Any of that? No?
Stop in high school?
Yeah, like that's a pretty terrible place to just arrest your development.
Like, weird choice. But
Yeah.
okay.
Can't relate, but okay.
I can't
Yeah, I saw Eclipse for the first time last week.
I haven't seen any of them, and I'm really glad about it.
I've seen all the rest of them, but only since college.
Like, I know that I have a friend who watches them every year. I think he's Stockholm syndrome to himself into thinking that they're good, but he started out watching them because he thought they were funny.
Yeah, they're not good. They are funny at times, but often not because they mean to be.
I've seen that scene where the fan blows behind her and he's like, oh.
Yes. That is as funny as it looks, like, in context. Yeah. Also, just nothing happens.
Oh goodness.
Like, all of Eclipse was very boring.
Also, there's some really iffy stuff that went down with her representation of a Native American tribe in a very unresearched and kind of horrible way. The fact that she makes them cut their hair still just breaks my heart.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her representation of that tribe, but I just know it's bad. And like, I don't know why people
they're raising funds right now to get out of a flood zone.
Yeah.
It's like they were misappropriated into one of the most popular young adult series of our lifetimes, and they got no benefit from it. They weren't even like presented correctly.
You should be giving a solid chunk of the royalties for them.
Just makes me upset if I think about it for too long.
I don't understand like why people are trying to like bring it back. Like,
oh well, because she released an entire book from Edward's perspective.
I know.
This year
has been insane. Also, I love that she dropped that book and then it sank like a rock. Like there was zero buzz. Nobody cared.
I mean, there was a lot on Bookstagram. A lot of people had mixed feelings.
Yeah, for what, a week? And then,
probably. Yeah, I mean, it's the first book retold from his perspective, so it's nothing new.
Exactly. So like after a week,
better written.
Like everyone who wanted to read it had read it.
I've been told it was better written though. So like, if you had never read Twilight, maybe it would have been a good book. I don't know.